Have you guys ever had a friend be so passionate about something that you got interested in it as well? I shared before about my brother with statistics of how his professor was so excited in it that my brother stuck it out. He started to stay with a course that he had no interest in simply because of the passion of the professor and how that changed his life. Maybe you've had a life-changing moment where you met someone who was such a big Seahawks fan that you realize, you know what, the Patriots, they're not even in the Super Bowl this year. I should switch to a much better team like the Seahawks. I had a life-changing moment when I was in middle school. A few weeks back, I shared about the time when I thought I was going to be a track superstar, and then I did okay with running the mile, but I ran the 200 and just completely bombed it. And after that, I just really realized, you know what, track isn't for me. I enjoyed running the mile. I was okay at it, like I talked about, but 200 and all those fun things, those weren't my cup of tea. And I knew I'm better at other things. So I was planning on going back to playing soccer or baseball or one of those two. And my friends, they were all on the tennis team. And the way they started talking about it, the way they were so passionate about it, it sounded so much fun, of the practices, the trips to the other schools, and all of that. It really just got me interested in it. They were talking about it in such a way that I was like, you know what, I'll check that out. Like, I got to see what this is all about with this tennis. And I had never played tennis in my life, but I did that spring and fall. And that really changed my life. I mean, some of you guys know a little bit about later on in my life, but you probably don't know about how tennis really directed me. That God used tennis to steer me down the path He had for my life. I mean, when we moved to California, I was either going to play soccer, baseball, or tennis. And I'd only played 1 year or so of tennis, and it was on a team where there was way too many people to know how good I was. And so I was planning on playing baseball. But something about tennis and something about some of the people that were on the team drew me to playing that. And so I chose to play tennis. I mean, I had the experience with it, and I'd had fun with it, and just decided to go with that. And I praise God that I did. Of not that I'm guaranteed to have turned out differently had I been on the baseball team or soccer team, but the kids that were on those teams compared to the friends I had on the tennis team, my life was different. I was surrounded by better friends, friends that supported me in what I was doing, supported my faith, and it really helped me keep on the straight path and not diverge from what God had for me. And then later in college, when I wanted to transfer away from my first school, it was tennis that helped lead that decision. Of There was a number of factors, but one of the big things was I missed playing tennis. If I had loved it through high school and I'd been really good at it. And so I decided, you know what, I missed this. I want to go find a school where I can play tennis. And that helped lead me to Liberty University, of going to play tennis down there. And so this small, insignificant thing where I was influenced by my friends, hey, check out tennis, it led to me going to the school where I'd meet my wife and know for sure that youth ministry is where I'm supposed to be. And it set a lot of the tone for where I was going. That's what can happen when you are so passionate about something. If my friends hadn't been so passionate about tennis back in 8th grade, who knows where I'd be? God does, but He would have gotten me here. But the point is, if they changed my life with their passion. In Colossians chapter 4 that we're studying tonight, Paul sort of gives us this challenge as well. He lays out in these verses 2 through 6 just two real challenges. Pray steadfastly. Just pray all the time. The second one, which goes along with it, is witness. Take advantage of every opportunity. Don't waste any time. He gives this challenge to the church in Colossae, but it's just as valid to us today. The end goal of both these challenges is that we witness to Christ's salvation in our lives. We witness to what Christ has done in our lives. It's essentially saying, hey, know what you're going to say, know what makes you excited, know why you're passionate about Jesus, so that other people, they see you and they want what you have. As you have your discussion tonight and you study these verses and you look at what it means to be a witness for Christ, what it means to not waste any time, what it means to pray for your pastors and all that, my prayer for you with this discussion, and my prayer that you walk out of here tonight knowing, is what would it be like if we lived this out? If our talk about Christianity, if the way we talked about what youth group is like, if the way we talked about why we go to church was so passionate about it that our friends around us had to come check it out, wanted to know more about it. If it wasn't so much that we were having to throw stuff at them, like, hey, come, but they just were so compelled to check it out. My prayer is that you become so passionate about Jesus Christ that other people see you and they want what you have. Not because you're living this amazing life, but because you know Jesus Christ is better. Do you know that? Do you understand that what Jesus has done for you on the cross? As you study the Bible, you'll start to really see that, like, the more you understand about him, what we've been talking about all month, the more you see his mercy and his grace, the more you just overflow with love for him, because you realize how undeserving of his love you are and how unconditional his love for you is. If you don't accept that, if you don't know that, talk to your leaders. Jesus Christ loves you. Jesus Christ has great plans for you. He might use a friend in 8th grade who's so passionate about tennis to steer the direction of your life for the next 8 years. Who knows how God is going to change your life? And that's what Colossians 4 talks about. Don't waste any time. Be open to opportunities. Pray for those opportunities. And that's what he's saying. Pray that your pastors find these opportunities to witness for Christ. Pray that you yourself find these opportunities to witness for Christ, and that when they do come, you don't let them slip by. That's my prayer for you guys. And I hope that tonight's discussion, you guys have a great time discussing these verses. It's just a short, sweet section of this chapter, but it's so life-changing if you get it. Praying for you guys. Love you all. Have a great night of discussion.